Okay, here's what I put for the first one. PCC creates an alphabetical list of all currently enrolled students and selects every 100th student to survey about their opinion of current tuition rates. That is a systematic because they're selecting every 100th student. So that's systematic. Seems like that's a pretty good method. The only thing I can come up with for this one is that there may be groupings of names or names that are very common to people of a particular culture. And so it's possible that large groups could be skipped over or possibly not have the same chance of being selected. That's a potential bias that I can think of there. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again for the second one. Okay, here's the second one. PCC randomly selects 50 female faculty and 50 male faculty to survey about their thoughts on math education. This is stratified because we're selecting into groups and then choosing randomly from each group. So that's stratified by gender. And issues here, I would say this is not gender inclusive because there may be some people that don't identify as female or male. And it also may not be proportional. Maybe there are more male faculty and so female is overrepresented in the sample, or maybe there are more female faculty and male is overrepresented in the sample. And here's the third one. PCC sends an email survey to the all-campus listserv about food choices on PCC campuses. So I would call this a voluntary. You might say census, but if we're not really making sure that we get a response from every person, then I would say that is voluntary. If it's sent out to the listserv and just, everyone gets a billion emails, only certain people are going to respond. It's probably going to be the students who feel strongly about the food choices. It may only be people that use the food service when the cafeteria wants to get information from other folks too who might use it if the choices were different. And so those are possible biases. Again, it all depends on the purpose and context for your study. And here's D. Every student at PCC completes a course evaluation at the end of the term for each course in which they're enrolled. I would call this a census. The problem is we do get a very small number of non-response, people who don't respond. So it is very, very hard to get every single person's opinion. However, this is a pretty good method, and by making them required, we are getting much more information than before when they were optional. So please do your evaluations. I know it's way too early for that in the term. Here's E. The Water Bureau selects 10 neighborhoods in Portland and surveys every member in those neighborhoods about their thoughts on fluoridated water. So this is cluster, and the key word here is surveys every member in those neighborhoods. So every member. So that tells us it is a cluster. They're randomly selecting the neighborhoods and surveying everyone in that neighborhood. The issue here is the neighborhoods must be representative. What if we just randomly select 10 neighborhoods, but they all end up on the west side, or all end up on the east side, or just there's no one in North Portland? What if the sample of neighborhoods is not representative? So that might be another good example to do stratify by part of Portland, or by income level, anything like average income level, something like that. Stratify and then do a cluster. For F, the first 10 people to arrive on campus on a given day are surveyed about their sleep habits. This is definitely a convenient sample. Let me just ask the first 10 people that show up. But especially since we're talking about sleep habits, the first 10 people on campus may have similarities that cause them to be the first 10 people on campus. Maybe they're all morning people, or they don't sleep well, or whatever. They might have similarities that might bias and cause them to not be a representative sample. And here's the last one. I'd use purple again because I'm at the end of the rainbow. So using G-numbers as identifiers, PCC selects 1,000 students at random to complete a survey about their experience at PCC. This is a simple random sample, and as we talked about before, this may not, one potential bias is it may not draw proportionally from each campus. So again, it depends on our purpose and context for the study. So that is sampling methods, and I hope this has been helpful. So please bring your questions to class or email me, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.